Hey guys, what's up? Obi here. Today is going to be a little bit different than usual because today is going to be the first episode of The Dilemma. Essentially, it's going to be a thing where I talk a lot about different stuff within the gaming industry and community. Sometimes not, but more focus will be put on the gaming bit, so to speak. So if you don't like to hear a nasally voice like mine talk about nerd stuff the whole time, well, it's a good thing I upload funny gameplay bits on this channel as well, huh? Today's episode of The Dilemma will handle Final Fantasy 15 and JRPGs. More specifically, Final Fantasy 15 and how it's almost seen as the last bastion of hope for AAA JRPGs in the next gen, since the RPG market is dominated by Western developers these days, whereas in the past the market was almost unanimously owned by Japanese developers. Final Fantasy 15 is a Japanese role-playing game being made by Square Enix and is set to launch in a little bit more than a month on November 29th after having an original release date set for the 30th of September. Final Fantasy is a staple brand name when it comes to JRPGs since a lot of people grew up with the series. The first game saw its release in 1987 on the old school NES and it was a great commercial success, so essentially, Final Fantasy is old, like so old the name is actually a misnomer. So it would stand to reason, even for a series so old, it has a lot of followers, seeing as the 15th one is coming out now from the mainline series, plus it has many offshoots and spin-offs that are part of the series. Final Fantasy as a series has changed over the years. Why wouldn't it? Some changes need to be made to keep things fresh each iteration, but in the earliest games, the battle mechanics were all somewhat similar because they all used some form of turn-based or ATB system, and you control each character in the party. Recently, though, things have been moving towards a more action-based gameplay approach as opposed to the old time-based one. One can argue that the reason for this is the time-based system feels old or it has been used to its fullest, so it's difficult to upgrade or update something that isn't broken. But in the old Final Fantasy days, one can argue that turn-based gameplay wasn't necessary because of the hardware at the time. It would have been difficult to compute all those nice effects with the old hardware, so it all worked out in the end, I suppose. Now, with proper hardware, the need for graphical fidelity rises, and thus more and more games have moved toward the action route as opposed to turn-based ones. AAA devs have a hard time because they have to make these big budget games. If they don't get it perfect the first time, they risk losing millions in the process, be it money or fans. Since Final Fantasy XII, Square has opted to move away from the turn-based system, which upset a lot of old-time fans. Final Fantasy 15 is more of an action-oriented game because action RPGs developed by Western game developers are more popular than Japanese ones a la Fallout, Witcher 3, Skyrim, etc. So Square had to make that shift into action RPG territory. Gamers these days crave action, so Final Fantasy 15 has a difficult balance to strike by both appeasing the older fans who come from the turn-based era while also roping in new players into the franchise to keep the name sustainable. In recent demo videos of the game, a timer was seen to stop gameplay to give the player a chance to decide what to do next and which enemy to target. Square says it was done to appease people who are new to the game and who might need to pause a little bit to plan things ahead, but maybe was actually put in to simulate the old turn-based system. So, Final Fantasy XV's dilemma. Will it be good enough to appease the hardcore fans of the series, or will it cater more towards the broader audience in hopes of it making a lot more sales based on its current general direction? Or the game maybe strike a good balance and be an awesome game that plays well for everyone, making sure that AAA RPGs are still alive and kicking? Guess we'll find out on November 29th. I know I'm excited for it, but how do you guys feel? Has Final Fantasy changed too much for you? Are you gonna give 15 a go? Never even played a Final Fantasy game in your life? Leave a comment down below and tell us, and also maybe even a like if you enjoyed the episode and would like to see more of the dilemma and videos of the same caliber, so to speak. But in any case, as always, you guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Cheers.